Harvey Weinstein is in the hospital this morning, just one day after a jury found him guilty of rape and sexual assault. While the verdict was being read, the disgraced movie mogul appeared unsteady on his feet. He left the courthouse by ambulance after complaining of chest pains and heart palpitations. CBS News correspondent Jericka Duncan spoke to Weinstein's lawyers about the conviction.
Harvey Weinstein arrived at court Monday a free man, but left as a convicted rapist. As deliberations entered a fifth day in the former Hollywood Giant's trial, a jury of 7 men and 5 women came back with a verdict finding him guilty of rape in the 3rd degree and criminal sexual act in the 1st degree. He now faces up to 29 years in prison. Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance Jr.
This is the new landscape for survivors of sexual assault in America, I believe.
Do you think Harvey Weinstein could ever get a fair trial in this country?
No, I don't. I truly don't. And I think this might be one of the few cases where no jury could be fair.
Damon Sharonis and Donna Rotuno are Weinstein's lead defense attorneys. Weinstein was found not guilty of the most serious charges, including predatory sexual assault, which carries a maximum life sentence.
Obviously, when we took this case, we were hoping and confident that it would be a not guilty across the board.
How much of a role did your client play in sort of strategizing his own defense?
A large role. I mean, Harvey was very involved and he was very helpful. Harvey's a very intelligent man with a very interesting perspective.
More than 80 women have come forward with accusations against Weinstein. This case centered around the accusations of 2 women. Former production assistant Miriam Haley said Weinstein forced oral sex on her in 2006, and former actress Jessica Mann alleged Weinstein raped her in 2013.
The jury was very thoughtful.
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman said she does not expect the judge to go light on Weinstein during sentencing.
Judge Burke has sat through this trial and he has heard the testimony of 6 accusers. He can't erase that from his memory.
So Jericka Duncan joins me now. So first off, Jericka, let's start with Harvey Weinstein's health. So he starts to feel bad as he's hearing that he's been found guilty at least on 2 charges.
Right.
What happens? What are his lawyers saying about his health?
His lawyers are concerned about his health. They say, look, he's 67 years old. He's going to be 68 next month. They even called his health failing. We saw him in and out of that courtroom using a walker to get in. Some people questioned if he needed that, but his attorneys say, no, he is in bad health. And even before this trial, Donna Rotuno, one of his attorneys, had said, listen, he's lost a lot. And even in her statement, while he was convicted on the most serious charges, we are disappointed in the verdict and will be filing an appeal. But she did talk to us one-on-one about his health and the concern there to make sure that he is getting the proper care while he is in police custody.
Well, he would have been on his way to Rikers Island, which is kind of a notorious facility. It's notorious for its violence,
Right.
And so here's a guy who, according to his lawyers, in ill health, headed that way. What do his attorneys say about that? Because I think they tried to get him out of actually going to Rikers Island, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think they want to make sure, even if he has to go there, that he is getting the medical care that, they say he deserves and needs. But they also say Harvey Weinstein knew this was a possibility, that he knew that there was a chance that he would go to jail, that he would go to prison. And that is ultimately what happened. That's the case right now, and now they're waiting for the sentencing, which doesn't happen until March 11th.
And so the expectation is once his treatment is finished at the hospital, then that's where he's going to end up at Rikers?
At Rikers Island, yes.
Wow.
Yep.
So you started reading a little bit of the statement from his attorney where they mentioned they are already planning an appeal. No surprise there. Did they elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, they did, actually. Damon Sharonis, one of the attorneys, said that they're going to look at evidentiary rulings, that they're going to look at the witnesses that they thought were an issue, and even the verdict sheet. The way that the jurors were asked to find him guilty on those specific charges was confusing by not just the attorneys who are on Harvey Weinstein's team, but other attorneys had said that they thought it was a bit confusing when you look at the predatory sexual assault that was first, followed by some of the lesser charges. So that's one of many things I think that they'll be bringing up in their appeal case.
Meanwhile, he's facing other charges
in
California. Yesterday, we were talking to one of our legal experts, and I'd asked, like, how does this work? Does he go to California right away? Does he have to serve his sentence in New York? And basically, I said, you know, anything could really happen here.
Right, and we don't know. I was actually speaking to Ricky Kleeman this morning, our CBS News legal analyst, and she said that the appeal process could take at least a year, and that LA could decide to do what they need to do with that case after the appeal or possibly before. We just don't know. And we did reach out to the district attorney's office in LA to try to find out if we could get more concrete answers. But in Los Angeles, he's facing charges of forcible rape, sexual penetration by use of force, sexual battery by restraint. Essentially, you have two women here that say he assaulted them. One woman is an Italian model who said she was assaulted at a Beverly Hills hotel in 2013. And then you have Lauren Young, who we heard from in the New York trial, who said that Harvey Weinstein trapped her in a bathroom and groped her. Prosecutors say these incidents happened within 24 hours of each other in 2013. So that's what we know about the LA case. As far as how much time he could face with those, we're still trying to determine for a fact what's the maximum there. But the bottom line is he's facing significant time in New York. So even if he serves out his time in New York, will he even make it to Los Angeles? How old would he be? We don't know. And we'll find out after the sentencing what Judge Burke ultimately comes up with.
Do we know if it's going to be the same legal team in California?
So I asked Damon Sharonis and Donna Rotuno, are you all planning to represent him in that case? They said it's still early. We just need a second to kind of take a breath, but we will help with the appeal process. But generally, as we saw even with Bill Cosby's case, one attorney was on the first case in which it was a hung jury. A different team came in for that second case where he was convicted on all charges. So it's not necessarily typical that they would continue on with the process, but as of right now, the attorneys who represented Weinstein in this New York case said they're going to help with the appeal process, but they're not giving assurances that they will be his A-team, if you will, in LA.
So, in other words, this story is sort of far from over.
Oh my gosh, it's not over, not over at all. And I think the fact that the district attorney's office said, we will continue to prosecute, they're not letting go just because he was found guilty on 2 counts in New York. They stand steadfast in that we will continue to prosecute our case. So now we just have to wait and see what that looks like timeline-wise.
Man, oh man, Jericka Duncan, thank you so much.
Thank you.